A summer thunderstorm has rolled past. Another is on the way, but it's not the weather. It's federal agents, and they want to see your weapons. Do you have to show them your gun vault? The rain ticks on your eaves like a loose cymbal. It's the AM, and you're in the kitchen, lights low, sipping a cup of coffee, and just about to start your morning. But out of your peripheral, you see shadows skimming across the wet pavement and pause. People are at your gate. One is in uniform, and it is not the mail carrier. You raise the window slightly and speak out. A powerful male voice booms back, "Good morning, sir," and calls you by name. Then he says, "I am from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and we need to talk to you about some items registered to this address." That could only mean one thing: your guns. Another voice interrupts and asks you to step outside as a badge glints against his chest. Your heart skips. You wonder, do you have to show them your gun vault and ammo? Do you step out and open the gate, or just close the window and walk away? As we always say, you are on the clock. What you do in the next few seconds may be critical, and this is exactly what this video is built for. So, let's talk law. Welcome to the Four Eyes of Law. I am Larry J. Brookins, a California attorney with over 25 years of litigation experience in both the state and U.S. federal courts. These types of encounters usually arise in two settings, and the rules vary on that basis. One is at the front door of a home, gate, or porch, where privacy is a premium. The other is during a vehicle traffic stop, parking lot, rest stop, or other public place. If this video provides value, please tap the bell and hit the subscribe button for the Four Eyes of Law. This helps others who need this information, and you won't have to search all over the web when you need this knowledge. Before continuing, our mandatory disclaimer requires us to state that this video is for information only. It's not intended to provide legal advice about any specific case or to establish an attorney-client relationship. Our first line of advice, if you're facing a serious legal matter, is to consult with an attorney of your choice. Now, back to identifying the scenario. Is it your home, or is it at your car? If you're at the door of your home, start by keeping a threshold between you and the law enforcement agent. Do not swing the door wide open, step out, or invite them inside. Keep the door closed if possible and speak through it. You may also speak through a closed window or security alarm intercom system. Do not invite anyone inside. Ask for clear identification and for their credentials. Ask whether the encounter is being recorded. If the visitor claims they have legal authority, ask them to slide the legal order or warrant through a cracked opening or beneath the door, or hold it up to a window, so you can read and see the issuing court, the judge's name, and signature before you move toward compliance. If they ask why, simply respond that it's based on your rights in the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. However, if a genuine exigency exists and represents an immediate threat to life, serious injury, danger of evidence destruction, or a real emergency, officers may be able to enter without a warrant. But that is a narrow, fact-based exception and varies from case to case, which the courts will have to decide later. If someone merely says there is an emergency, ask them to describe it. If there is no emergency and no warrant, and law enforcement still asks permission to search, have a prepared sentence ready, such as, "I do not consent to any search without a judge's warrant." Say it calmly once and stop. That single sentence creates a record legal counsel needs to protect you. A home is your most protected space. If you are confronted in a public place or on the roadside, the dynamics shift. Under the automobile exception, from the case of Carroll versus United States, officers can search a vehicle without a warrant if they have probable cause to believe it contains evidence of a crime. This justification requires specific facts, not just a hunch. Here, we must take note of the National Firearms Act, NFA, which is a federal statute. This is particularly important for people transporting items regulated by the NFA. Some weapons and accessories are specially regulated under federal law. The list includes short-barrel rifles, short-barrel shotguns, suppressors, silencers, machine guns, and certain destructive devices, among other items. Those items normally must be registered and transferred through ATF regulations under Title 26, United States Code, Chapter 53. If you transport such items, carry proof of ATF approval or your approved transfer paperwork with you. If an officer says they only need to verify registration, politely ask to see the officer's lawful authority or a signed warrant. Even in public encounters, you still have the right to decline a warrantless search. Sometimes, police will claim the need to perform a pat-down search for officer safety. These are commonly called a Terry frisk or stop. It is a limited pat-down for weapons based on officer safety concerns. If so, stay composed and cooperate. Do not resist physically. You may seek to clarify your status by saying, "Please tell me whether I am free to leave." If law enforcement says yes, simply say, "Thank you," and leave. If they say you are being detained, arrested, or held in custody, invoke your Miranda rights and say, "I choose to remain silent and would like to consult with an attorney before speaking further." Remember, whether it's a knock at the door or a roadside stop, the rules for 2026 are clear. Always carry your approved ATF forms or transfer paperwork when moving NFA items. If an officer asserts a safety justification to search, do not admit or concede to wrongdoing. Say, "You hear and note it, but do not consent to any searches without a warrant." Though, do not resist or become physical. To keep it simple, calmly follow this 3-step routine to avoid unnecessary escalation. 1. Keep your hands visible always. 2. If you refuse a search, use a practice sentence that clearly says you do not consent to any search without a warrant. And 3. Request a lawyer and say you wish to remain silent if you are told that you are not free to leave. In closing, if an encounter occurs at the home, keep a threshold between you and the visitor and ask for identification. However, comply if officers show a signed warrant or there is exigent or emergency circumstances. On the road, be aware that different rules apply to vehicles, and probable cause is still required for a warrantless search. Thanks for watching. If this video provided any clarity, please hit subscribe button and tap the bell. Now, check out this next video.